Hi everybody, this is Alchemist2 and I'm back again with another anime review. I just recently watched the entirety of Deadman Wonderland, and I recall when this was actually on Toonami, and I thought that this can't be the entire series. There are only 13 episodes, and of course the OVA at the very end left us on a cliffhanger, and we got to see who is actually responsible for putting the prisoners into the attraction, the Wonderland, as it was called. And you would think that sort of thing would have been done away with, but the series really reminds me a lot of Hunger Games and Divergent, and a lot of people die. It's even more intense than that, and it goes one step further as to having these individuals with nicknames and whatnot experimented upon, giving them branches of sin, basically. And each of them are different. No two are alike. They're all snowflakes in their individuality. And they come out as knives. Like Shinji has double knives that come out of his arms, and it's really cool. He's so badass. He's just an incredible character, and he has the OVA is about him and when he becomes a cop. Spoiler, but it's intriguing that he would become part of the problem rather than part of the solution. You think, it's kind of akin to Clockwork Orange, if you've ever seen it. I never made this parallel until now because it's one of my favorite films of all time, but it has such similarities with Clockwork Orange. I never really thought about that until recently. The reason I say that is because the rehabilitated, they just go on doing, they continue to do what they do. And the police are even ones that are brutalizing everybody. So who can you turn to? It's not safe. There are women getting raped and children getting killed and villages getting destroyed, or neighborhoods getting pilfered, and it's just an unruly society. It's the Wild Wild West all over again. It's a modern day just vast wasteland of apocalyptic proportions, and I never really thought about that, but it's very interesting. It's just saying this is what could happen. This is what occurs when a company is in control. And I forget the name of the man who is the marionette. I just call him the marionette. He is by far one of the most evil characters I have ever seen in an anime. He has a creepiness and just a very unsettling nature about him. You can tell he's a psychopath. You can tell he is a sociopath. He is greedy. He doesn't care about anything but himself and the company doing well and viewership and the Nielsen ratings continuing to pile up. The more gore, the better, the more funding they can acquire to continue to keep Wonderland running. And Shiro actually was one of my favorite characters, and still to this day, and like Nepeta from Homestuck, yes, I ship Ganta and and Shiro just because they're meant to be. And you learn about their past and why they're so close together, and why Shiro can't be without why Ganta can't be without Shiro. But Ganta actually proves himself later on. I thought, yeah, Ganta grew spine, but it was unbelievable. It's just to this day, even though it's very gory and there's a lot of profanity, and it's well redeemable profanity. It's not profanity for profanity's sake. It's like The Sopranos. It's just the environment. So it makes sense. It's very organic why these characters would be swearing as much as they do. And it, as far as gore is concerned, is Tokyo Shock level of gore. And another series that is very much like this, but it's on a whole different level, is Tokyo Ghoul. And if you've seen Tokyo Ghoul, you'll understand why I love it so much and why I like Deadman. Deadman actually probably made me a fan of Tokyo Ghoul. I can't really say that much about Deadman, other than it's woefully short. I don't know if they were going to do another series. It seems like they would, like Seiji would have a tussle with his old school gang members, or his group, his posse, the the Undertakers. He was an original Undertaker, so it sort of leaves that question hanging in the air, and it doesn't really. You have a lady or the tiger, and you're given a decision what Seiji actually does, and he just is part of the problem. Like I said, he puts the prisoners in Wonderland to be subjected to every kind of medieval torture and brutality. Just, you will die if you don't get out of Wonderland. And so I don't know whatever happened to Ganta. That's my question. Even though he and Shiro did what they did, I'm not gonna say what happened, but you know, if you've seen the series like me, and you think, oh yay, it's all come to an end. They've overthrown the evil corporation, and then 10 years you think, ugh, nothing's changed. But it's really an exceptional anime, and I give it 2 thumbs way up, 5 stars hands down. There's a heartbreaking scene in it, and you wouldn't expect to cry in an anime that's so violent, but Tokyo Ghoul is similar. I mean, I wept like a baby. There's something so relatable to loss, because we all suffer loss. Maybe not in that extreme of matters, but it's you think, how could someone be that abysmal and not have a conscience at all? Just have that lack of apathy. He'd be apathetic and have absolutely no soul. But it's incredible that well, the Undertakers, why wouldn't they be? They were working for the corporation, so yeah, it's very interesting. It's just one of those series that makes you think and kind of makes you hope that never happens in real life. But other than that, I can't really say that much about Deadman, other than I'm happy that I finally got to see the final episode. I don't think the OVA was ever aired on Toonami. If it was, I don't recall, because I thought it kind of felt incomplete, even though you felt happy at the 12th episode. But the OVA just leaves a lot of questions left unanswered that I would love to just talk to the creators and pick their brains about what they wanted to do with it, rather than just leave it lay as a 13-episode series. But despite that, it's one of my favorites to this day. I think Tokyo Ghoul is actually better, because it's just more of a controversial subject, and that gives a whole existentialism and what's human and what can you consider good, bad, etc. And the lines are gray. But this is more of greed and corruption and entertainment, and that whole idea of going back to Roman society. The entertainment itself was really quite brutal and fatal in more cases than one. They didn't care. It was just meant to appease the masses, especially those who were in power and could continue to fund the government. And you think, ugh. You kind of wonder, is that going on today with some forms of entertainment that we have? I wonder. I mean, I know that sounds controversial, but it kind of makes you ponder and think maybe entertainment that's violent in that way isn't such a great thing, because it's only making the problem worse, and violence begets violence. Actually, they said that in the series. I thought, yeah, it does. But it's a outstanding series that will really make the gears in your head twirl, and I highly recommend it. If you don't like violence, if you don't like profanity, stay away from it, because it's going to turn your stomach. As for me, I'm not bothered by it. In real life, I don't like seeing anybody get hurt or killed or anything like that. But in anime or television, stuff like that, even though it would be a favorite character, which still would hurt my heart, And it did in this one because I saw a character, you see a character die in the worst way possible. It is the most unforgivable act, and you just think that the Undertaker who did, he's like, "You're a bastard!" I was actually yelling at the television. I don't do that, but nobody's around me, so they can say, "You're cuckoo." But beyond that, it's just a stellar series, and I absolutely love it. I give it 5 stars, even though it's a little.